Hi, I'm Lyndon Shearman, Chairman of the Orkney Vintage Club, and I'd like to welcome you all to the 2010 Vintage Rally here at Hatston. This year we've got a glorious sunny day and a very wide range of exhibits, old and new, indoors and outdoors. We've got exhibitors from all over Scotland, from as far away as Lewis, as far away as Musselburgh, and even from Carlisle and North Yorkshire. We've got a special visit this year from the Highland Old School Fords, who have brought 30 cars from all over Scotland, and they're sitting down over the field over there. They're having a special tour of Orkney and they seem to be really enjoying themselves. We've got a range of classic cars, gorgeous vehicles over there, Jaguars, Daimlers, Audis, Mercedes, I can see them all from here. Things that you would give your right arm for, they're all on display. We've got the usual vintage stuff, the tractors, the commercial vehicles, the stationary engines and the cars, which are all arranged in different bays all around the ring, and we'll be parading those around the ring a little bit later on today. Indoors we've got the best of the old and the best of the new. We've got a lot of the regulars there, the Orkney Family History Society are there, and we've got newcomers such as the Orkney Railway Society, and a rather special display this time from a Seafire plane that crashed in Rendell during World War II and has recently been excavated, and the bits of it that have been recovered are on display in there with a video recording, and that's a little bit of Orkney history that's rather special, rather tragic but rather special. And the day's just beginning. Exhibitors and guests alike are coming in, and we're hoping everybody's going to have a really lovely day.
I'm wondering to get this from the first buyer for the
what is the owners, because they get them all week,
exactly, exactly right. I've got Kevin Capnis here from the Highland Old School Fords, who's going to tell us a bit about his club and what part he's taken in today. Kevin.
Yes, well, we've got a lot of good stuff come up from south here through our Highland Old School Ford site right now.
Yeah.
Kind of gathered them together, and this was their main trip of the year to come up to the show today.
Yeah.
A lot of varied stuff, you know. So
yeah, we've got everything from Caprice to Escorts.
That's it, yeah, up to the very new Focuses at the end there. So
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
lot of good stuff.
So
A few local ones that's
Yeah.
not normally seen too.
Yeah, there's a good variety.
It is a good variety,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it's fine to see a lot more Mark II Escorts on the go.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's not a big lot on the go
No,
up here, so
no.
it was really nice to see them all, and
Yeah.
some stunning motors in amongst it too.
Yeah. And what car out of all this array of cars here, what one does it for you?
I think they all do it, Wally. I'm a serious Ford man, so I wouldn't like to pick one out. There's a lot of really nice stuff. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of varied stuff, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't pick one out of the lot, I don't think.
And I think that the weather's made today too, and
Certainly has, yeah.
There's certainly a good turnout, and it's going to be an
Oh, it's
excellent show day, I
yeah.
would say.
I think the folks should get a lot of good photos of the old Fordies here today. And it's
Yeah.
good. Weather's been kind to us, so it's been
well, there's been
excellent.
on both sides.
Yeah,
Very
it's
good.
excellent.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
No problem at all. Right?
Yeah.
Hello there, my name's Sheila MacDonald. I come from Rothes in Murrayshire, and it gives me great pleasure to be here today at the Orkney Vintage Club Rally with my fairground organ. I've always had a passion for fairground organ music, and in years gone by I would spend many a happy hour in front of other people's fairground organs. So when I was 40, which wasn't yesterday I have to say, my husband, Raymond MacDonald, bought me my very own fairground organ, and this is it that we've got with us today at the rally. So, you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I love fairground organ music. I suppose you either love it or you hate it. How does it work? Well, this organ works through a punched card. This is a small piece of organ music. The holes in the music represent the notes to the tune, and this will show you the book going through the reader later. But the book passes through a reader, and little rods pop up through the holes in the card, and air is blown through the pipes, and that's how the note comes out. I think it's quite fascinating. It's an English-built organ. It's about 30 years old. It was built by a man called David Leach in England. When we bought the organ 12 years ago, it was housed in a van, and it was always our intention to put it into a vintage vehicle. So the vehicle it's in is a 1950 Bedford O-type lorry, which my husband bought in Hartlepool. It was a flatbed lorry when he bought it. He drove it home to Rothes in Murrayshire between Christmas and New Year one time, and it took him 2 days to get home because the thing kept breaking down. So it's not his favourite vintage vehicle in his collection, I have to say. But however, it's quite dependable now. It was a flatbed lorry when he bought it, so he built the box to house the organ, and he built the organ front that you see on the organ now. It wasn't like that when we bought it. He built the organ front and he put the figures on. He bought the figures from Holland, and they've got mechanical action in them, so you'll see the bandmaster moves. So he did all that himself. He's a very talented man, a very artistic man. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the organ, and I hope you get a fine day for your rally, and thanks very much for inviting us along. It's a great pleasure for us to come and play for you today, and who knows, maybe you'll have us back again another time. So take care, nice seeing you, bye for now.
My name's Dave Ross. I'm involved in the Vintage Club for a few years and restored 1 or 2 motorbikes. I have a Trident 750 triple down there, the maroon one, and a 650 twin Triumph Trophy, Triumph Tiger Cub 200cc single, Triumph Speed Twin 500cc, and up there this whole Villicet 200cc flat twin, and 2 Hercules motors, 49cc's, and my granddaughter's wee trikes down there. That's just done up for a bit of devilment, and Lambretta scooter there, which is first registered in Orkney 1962, restored head. That's my involvement in it. And this 3 behind me here is my brother, younger brother's motorbike, Honda's. He's into the Japanese stuff, so can't do everything.
Yeah, definitely wide, isn't it? I'm thinking of sending you nothing.
This is our family's portable steam engine. She's named Little Dragon because she spent her working life in North Wales driving a threshing mill, so Dragon, Wales, it seemed an appropriate name. She was built 150 years ago and she will be celebrating her 150th birthday a little bit later on this year. And she's probably the oldest working steam engine in Britain right now. She still runs, as you can see, and we had her up at Doonby Show the other day driving a little bruiser, and we bruised a couple of hundredweights of barley, so she can still do a little bit of work. Unlike me, I'm retired.
Hi, I'm Steve Bacon from the Shattonsea Machinery Restoration Club. We're fortunate to be invited here today to display just an example of some of the machines we have. We have 6 here, and they are amongst our more unusual finds. Over at the very end, we've got a 1940s little electrical generator that was left behind by the army. We currently use it to power up a set of little lights. It's a bit temperamental, but it does work, and it shows an example of what would have been here in the 1940s. Next to it, we have a Crossley semi two-stroke diesel. Very smelly, very noisy, but once you get it running, it sits there all day, and it's really beautiful. Apart from the fact that the exhaust goes around and round, unscrews itself, and pollutes everybody in the place. And then we've got our old faithful Lister diesel. You just fire it up, leave it running, and it's perfect. It just sits there all day, 12 horsepower, 2 single cylinders just purring away to itself. A bit further on, a Powell 4.5 horsepower, as cantankerous as they come, 1930s. You need a bit of a gift to get that one to actually start and then stay running, but we do our best with the thing. Further on, we've got a very unusual beast. That is a Triumph 650 pushrod motorcycle engine converted to run a small threshing mill. It's handcrafted on Shattonsea, and I forget the name of the chap who did it, but a piece of local engineering work that has to be seen to be believed. And finally, the red one behind me is an old Petter Appletop, familiar to quite a lot of people, 3 horsepower, and again used to run a threshing mill. We're delighted to be invited back here. We can't make it every year because we're a very small club and it takes quite a bit of effort to get all of the equipment loaded and on here. So last time we were here was about 3 years ago. So again, it's been really pleasant to come here And apart from a spot of rain, we've done very well. Thank you.
I bought this mill in springtime this year. The mill previous to this, it was getting worse of the wear. I bought this one with all the chains. This mill's a 1942 mill, Garvey, 3 feet Garvey. It was bought by the Hayes of Howe and Bushy. They had travelled it for a while. And then Ali James bought it. He travelled it for a while in the West Midlands. As I say, I bought it in spring. Tractors, 1942 also. Bought it in Perthshire 7 years ago, 2003. It was partly restored when I got it. Stevie Ross sprayed it, put new tyres on it. It's run reasonably well ever since. Been at ploughing matches, working days, and obviously the Vintage Rally here and once across in Caithness some years ago. Other than that, the oats I use, it's my own grown oats. I grow 1.5 acres. Fraser Anderson makes chairs out, the strawback chairs out of the oats, other ones for buy. There'll be one of the few Air Bounty binder harvest crops in Orkney. None of what else can see it. It's basically head drilling.
As you can see here, on the table behind me lie the remains of a Mark V Spitfire or a Mark 1B Seafire. The pilot's name was Anthony Charles Armstrong Smalley. He was 23 years age and collided at around 6,000 feet with another Spitfire. Came down hard on the ground from 6,000 feet, and this is what remains of the aircraft, which was recovered about 3 weeks ago today. A lot of the parts are pretty much unrecognisable, really. The engine over there, very well shattered. The guns are in one piece. We have other various bits and pieces here. The remains of the supercharger, We've got a few small parts of the cockpit, the compass, bits of casing of engine, valves. So really we'd probably cover about a quarter of the aircraft, I would say, but it's good to have a display like this to tell the pilot story, and so that it's remembered and not forgotten.
You know that is all bits of plane, you see the pictures of the planes there.
That's a bigger dog. When snapping, you'll be going. Yeah, when snapping, you'll be going.
This car here belongs to my father, Richard Shearer. It's a 1935 Buick McLaughlin Series 40, and it is a 3.8 straight 8 engine. The car was built from the chassis up in the early 1980s to its present condition. We'll now go for a look inside the car and I'll show you the starting procedure. The car was Canadian built. The reason, that's why it's right-hand drive. It's a very unusual starting procedure for this. You have to make sure that it's out of gear, that you flick the ignition lever to on, and then you push the starter pedal, which engages the starter and starts the engine. Not easily stolen. It runs away lovely. Probably does about 9 or 10 miles to the gallon, so it would be a touch on the expensive side to run every day now. Well, this section here is the 1950 onwards, and here I am sitting in my uncle Michael Shearer's 1923 Bullnose Morris and she's a cracker. The car is pretty much original and in superb condition.
is a 1973 Rover T5B Coupe. That one belongs to Brian Gifford from Number 64 is a 1965 Daimler 2.5 litre V8 belonging to Stevie Ross from Kirkwall. And 63 is a 1965 Jaguar Mark II 3.8 litre and belongs to Tony Campbell from Edinburgh. And number 81 is a 1981 Mini Automatic belonging to Gene Tulloch from Kirkwall. Okay, in the ring this time is number 62. That's a 1963 Morris Mini, slightly shortened. It belongs to Maureen Firth, and it was owned and customised by Andy Saunders from Dorset. He shortened it by 2 feet 7 inches. So it's a bit shorter than standard. You really don't want to slam on the brakes too hard with that. 56 in the ring is a 1962 Ford Denver Mark II belonging to Leonard Scholes, Sandola. Number 79, that's a 1977 MGB belonging to David Ritchie from Musselburgh. Number 145, that's a 1982 Dodge Water Tender Ladder. That's the classification. And again, this one belongs to the Fotheringham family, but this time belongs to Neil. Number 147 there, that's used to be the fire engine in Long Hope. That one was rescued by Billy Towers from Inverness. That's a 1963 Morris Minor pickup, and it belongs to L. Gordon Stewart from Fraserburgh. Number 141. That's the 1963 Morris Minor pickup. And it's followed by number 142, which is a camper van. It possibly says on your program that it's a standard 10 pickup. The standard 10 pickup expired and was replaced by a camper van. Number 213 is a 1954 Ferguson TED20 pedal paraffin. That's 1954. And VS 4578. That one belongs to David Ross from Kirkwall. And it's a 1978 Massey Ferguson 168. That's 234. The Massey Ferguson 168 belonging to David Work from Sandola. And it's been restored by 84 International 885. This one again belongs to Raymond Ross, and he says it's in working condition. It's in working order. Not restored, but in working condition. Number 248 there, the big Ford with a cab. I don't have any details on that, but he's got a card on the front that's got all the details on it. So if you want to check up on that one, have a look at the tractor and he's got a card with all his details on the front. And number 236 here is Pullen number 154, which is a Ruston and Hawkesby ground-driven binder with a cutting width of 5 feet. It was bought new in the 1920s from J&W Tate in Kirkwall by Mr. Tom Linkletter, South Addit in Rendell, and was originally horse-drawn.
Well, that's it for another year, and I have to say that it's been a great success, and that's due to a lot of effort by a lot of people. And you know, one of the most gratifying things about this year's rally is the way people have all mucked in and had a go and volunteered for things without being asked. It really has been heartwarming, has that. I think everybody's had a lovely day, exhibitor and visitor alike, and of course we're going to do it all again next year, so we hope to see lots and lots of people, whether you come as visitor, whether you come as exhibitor. We'd love to see you again next year and see what's the same and what's changed. The weather was reasonably kind to us today. We had a little bit of rain, but it didn't seem to put anybody off, and everybody that I've spoken to says they've had a really good day. Big crowds, car park's been very full. So I'd like to thank everybody that's been involved, not forgetting the volunteers from the Blythe Trust who did the car parking for us. Without them, the show wouldn't have been able to happen, and they've had a really busy day today, and we will be making a club donation to them, and believe me, they've earned it. Thanks also to all the exhibitors who've come from far and wide, some local, some from as far away as the north of England. It's been lovely to have people up here. Some of them are new, some of whom I've never met before, and I've made new friends, and that's been lovely. So too with the visitors, spoken to lots and lots of people, some from Orkney, some from far afield, and it's been great having a crack with them, and they've all said they've had a lovely day, so I really hope they mean it. So it's really, in conclusion, thanks to everybody who's had a part to play at all in the rally, whether as exhibitor, as helper, as organiser, as visitor. You know, thanks to everybody, and I hope we'll see you all again next year. Thanks.